Confessions.
I always,
Hello.
every time I hear that intro, it's such a lie. We're so judgy. Like there's no.
What's the lie? What's the lie?
That we don't judge.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't judge how much you drink. Is that better?
True. Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry. Carry on with your normal intro. My apologies.
Carry on, my wayward son. There will be peace when you are done.
See, now I'm stuck. Now I've got the South Park Guitar Queero episode stuck in my head. Thanks.
All right, this is a shitty start. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drunken Confessions, episode 75.
Real instruments are for old people, Mr. Marsh.
Oh my God.
I am Cass. We're joined by Amy, Jeremy, and of course, Hartman.
And welcome to Shit Show episode, 80. I know we're only on episode 75, but I feel like
part of me wonders if we shouldn't have named this the Shit Show. Maybe we should change the name.
I feel like every episode of every show recorded this year should just be named the Shit Show.
The Shit Show?
Because
probably.
By and large, most shows wind up talking about what a shit show this year has been for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean it's accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that.
Episode 70, the Shit Show. Episode 71, the Shit Show. Episode 72, the Shit Show. The old Casey Kasem, and the shits just keep on coming.
Raise your glass or your beer or whatever you have, and cheers to the Shit Show.
Clink.
Here's the Shit Show. And because I'm working in Ohio, I was able to get my Yingling, so I'm very happy today.
Yay!
Not about working in Ohio. I mean, it's not bad, but I'm happy about the Yingling.
Hey, there's got to be a perk there somewhere.
There is, and it doesn't suck as bad as I thought it would.
Well, that's good.
It really doesn't.
You listen to most people that live in the state of Michigan, and Ohio is like the "Here There Be Dragons" part of the map. So,
well, the biggest
it's so big.
Why
it
do
has
all
like
the trees?
5 accents.
Why do all the trees in Michigan lean south? Because Ohio sucks.
Nice.
It was always the joke.
Well, so and there was actually one of the Shot of History episodes. They actually did an episode about the Great War of Toledo, because Toledo, where you're driving every day, used to be a part of Michigan.
And we gave it away.
Oh, look at that!
We were like, "Here, Ohio, have it." We don't want it.
I'm not gonna lie, having
their asses kicked for that fucking.
Having been to Toledo, it's a pretty cool town. Probably should have kept it.
I haven't been around much. I've just been like going to work and back, but it's cool because going to work south of here, all you have is trucks. There's no real traffic, so that's nice. That's a nice part about it. So on that note, I want to say one thing. I have never tried the McRib.
Oh my God! Why is everyone making
How have
such
you
a big
not?
deal over this shit?
No,
Never.
I think it's worm bait.
I've never had it myself either.
I just see it advertised all the time, and I'm like, all these people talk about the McRib and all this.
Yeah, they just came back today.
Yes, I've never had it.
And this is one of those things, and I did not get one today, but I feel like sometime in the next couple of days I have to go get one because I'm wondering how much of it, like SpaghettiOs, like there's such a nostalgia factor with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got a couple cans of SpaghettiOs, and I made them, and they sucked so bad. Like they're wet noodles in ketchup. They're terrible. But in my head, they were like the greatest thing in the entire free world when I was a kid, and I was such a letdown. Which, I don't know if you remember, there was about 3 weeks there where I was doing a daily post of my flashback cereal challenges, where I went through like Apple Jacks and Frosted Flakes and Honey Nut Cheerios and Captain Crunch and all that, and it was like, okay, like does it hold up? And the cereals by and large were pretty much amazing, but yeah, like SpaghettiOs were a huge letdown. So I'm curious if the McRib is going to hold up to where I have it in my mind, because there's always been that split in my head where on one hand I remember it being like just amazingly good, but on the other hand I also remember me thinking, Okay, but ribs have bones, so this is kind of like a McFungus. Like I don't like which is
It
it?
doesn't taste like ribs.
So,
It
you know,
tastes
Dave,
like
I was wondering how you're going to go
plastic-y
back from cereal back to the McRib. But,
Hey,
you know, you
my
need to
random
start-
synaptic misfires
you
always
need
loop
to
back.
start your own podcast called Digressing with Dave.
Who wants his
would be
baby
the
back,
perfect
baby back,
podcast
baby
for you.
back, baby
Digressing
Actually,
with
I
Dave.
feel like if I were going to do that, it would have to be digressions and transgressions. I feel like it would.
Oh no, I think just digressing with Dave is perfect because you'd start off with this topic and just to see how many ways you can just totally expand that topic out to like the most far-fetched shit, like cereal. So we went from McRib to cereal, but okay. I'll drink to it.
But it all made sense, didn't it?
It did because I was actually going to point out when you talked about the SpaghettiOs, I was going to say I bought honeycomb cereal. And I was so disappointed. It didn't taste as good as it did when I was a kid.
You
I
know,
was
actually,
like-
honeycomb was not one of the ones that I tried.
Really? Oh,
You
I
know,
tried
okay,
it and it just wasn't as, it just missed something.
So here's a funny one. So Golden Grams. Do you remember when Golden Grams used, like, they were the ones that had the special pouch that they came in? Like all the other cereals had like, they were like, it was like plastic bags inside, but Golden Grams had like a heavier silver paper, almost foil wrapper. And like they were different, and they don't have that anymore. And I'm like, oh, like did it lose something?
Which one? Sugar Smacks came in the foil.
Yeah,
too.
they did too. Yeah.
Weird things that you remember.
Again, random synaptic misfires. Yeah.
Right. On that note,
Okay,
Amy,
when you guys are done with your conversation about cereal, let me know. Okay, I'm just gonna be back here.
I'm sorry, are we killing it?
It's now digressions with Dave and Cass. It's
Sorry, don't mean to kill the podcast with our cereal. Get it?
so anyway, did you have one? Did you get one?
McRib?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
I thought maybe that's what you were looping back to. Sorry.
No, I just thought about it today when I saw it. I'm like, I've never had the McRib.
And yet they still won't bring back the damn Szechuan sauce.
I was going to go there next. Only because I love Rick and Morty. Amy, you're so lost. Amy's like, I'm going to go have a cigarette and make 4 calls. Hi, welcome to the podcast.
Again, episode 70, whatever, the shit show episode. Yeah.
So, Amy, how was your day?
Well, it was not full of McRib or cereal, so
Okay.
it was great. Thanks for asking. You guys totally threw me off. I'm not even in the right state of mind yet.
You're not in the pod zone.
Oh my
Did you start
gosh.
off with the Jaeger bomb?
No,
Jeremy.
Well, there's your problem.
no, I'm
God.
staying away. I'm staying away from the liquor. I shouldn't even be drinking the beer. So I am staying away from the liquor right now. So no Jaeger bombs for me.
Yeah, speaking of not drinking, poor Steph is apparently down for the count with food poisoning and will not be joining us tonight. That sucks.
That'd be a problem if you just stopped eating.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought eating always cures food poisoning.
When I saw that she had food poisoning, I was like, when do you eat? How did you get that?
Right.
Oh, I think it was the CDC said to stop kissing your chickens, and you get a lot less of that.
Like salmonella? Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
If that's an actual statement that they put out in 2020, it would not surprise me.
That's all they did yesterday.
dude, nothing.
You know,
Nothing. So, although I was really disappointed, I don't know if you guys were following the story about the monolith that appeared in Utah and then disappeared and then reappeared in Romania.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I was really disappointed because I was like, okay, you know what? It's 2020. There's like one of the stories that came out 2 weeks ago were about these little capuchin monkeys that apparently have entered the Stone Age, where like they're using tools now. And I was like, well, go figure. It's, the monolith showed up because we're done. Like the earth is done with us. And so the monolith is coming to talk to the monkeys and elevate them up to come up next. But apparently a photographer caught photos of the people in Utah breaking it down and taking it away. when it disappeared. So sadly, that is not an alien thing.
Damn. I had
But-
high hopes.
Hey, again, 2020 could have easily been.
All right, and Jeremy, just to clarify, when you read the article about kissing chickens, are you sure it wasn't kissing cocks? Because it's a whole nother story about catching things.
They said stop kissing your chicks, but if you got a cock, probably shouldn't be kissing that either.
Just check.
Salmonella.
I'm gonna have to remind him of that later.
Right. And apparently the latest super spreader event to make the news, and you gotta love New Orleans, and you gotta love certain communities of people. Apparently there was a swingers convention in New Orleans last month that has already had 60 cases tracked back to it in the last 3 weeks. Several of them serious in ICU and intubated. So, hey, was it worth it?
In order to actually go there, you had to show a negative test.
I'm sure you had to show
Still
a
had the
negative test for
outbreak.
quite a few things. Let's be
So I can't go to a bar here in Michigan, but they can go to orgies in New Orleans.
swingers
Hey.
convention.
Everybody had a
I'm
mask
sorry.
on.
Sorry.
Everybody was
Okay.
tested.
Okay.
It was supposed to be okay.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Apparently everybody was tested. They just apparently weren't testing for the right things. So,
Wow.
but enough about my random synaptic misfires. Is there an agenda for the evening, or are we just babbling? Like,
No, actually, we have something we threw together.
okay, sorry. Then I'll shut up and let you get to that.
But Amy wrote it down, so I'm hoping that she still has it.
Yeah, I have it, and that's why I'm kind of
Okay,
bummed.
good.
I'm kind of bummed that Stephanie wasn't here because she helped us with this.
Yeah,
She came up
she
with
did.
more. She came up with probably 70% of these questions. So
She really, maybe that's why she's not on here, because she's afraid
yeah,
to
she didn't want to
them.
answer 'em.
She
I
probably
mean,
thought
we can
about it
always
and went,
we can
"Oh,
always
hell
just keep
no."
randomly babbling and then save those for the next show.
Right?
Well, we
Well,
could, but we're going
No,
to
but
talk about some of
we
them.
started planning next show too when we were talking the other
Well,
night.
all right, I think
Yep.
Because the next show is right before Christmas.
It
and it's
is.
gonna be our last show of the year. So we kind of decided like this show we were gonna look back, and next show we're gonna look forward. Isn't that what we agreed on, Amy?
Yep.
Doing a little cha-cha to the back.
Yeah. We're dancing. We're dancing 2020 out.
Thank you for joining Drunken Confessions. We're gonna segue to Dave dancing. I'm all right.
Oh my
Ah,
God.
the Gover.
He dances just like Jeremy.
Don't nobody worry about me.
It's Hitch. This is where you live. Nobody needs you. You don't need to make no pizza. Nobody needs you.
Q-tip. Throw it away.
Yeah,
Throw it away.
they're gonna have food there. Nobody needs you
Okay,
to bring the
I'm
pizza.
interrupting this. Jiminy Cricket.
Ooh, such harsh language.
I know.
There might be children listening. What the heck?
Got more? Can I
No,
talk?
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. Are you sure?
Probably not.
Okay. So anyways, so the first question of the night is, what is the biggest change you've made in 2020? And Cass, you can go first.
The biggest change?
The biggest change you've made.
I don't know. Should it be the house or the career? I have two big changes. I got a new house and I got a new career. I'm gonna go with career.
Well,
So-
that's good.
Yeah, because I'm now a financial advisor. So that's pretty significant for me anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's my biggest change, is becoming a financial advisor.
Dave, what's the biggest change you've made in 2020?
I mean, I've stayed home more. I feel.
Your bank account's
So-
looking really good.
So when they talk about these bars going under, it's all the ones Dave would go to.
No lies
Afloat.
detected. Like, yeah, dive bars throughout the area are in trouble. God, no, honestly, like that's probably realistically it. It's just the amount of time that I've spent at home more than anything else.
All right, Jeremy.
I now purchase beer through the phone. and it shows up on my doorstep. It's so cool.
Magic.
Okay, so I'm a little different than you guys. The biggest change that I made this year is I think I got thicker skin, and I haven't let people press my
Have you
buttons
seen a
as
doctor about
much.
that? Like, is there an ointment you can use?
No,
Or-
I've seen a doctor about a lot of things, but that's not one of them.
Calluses from the whip.
Because you got a new job too, Amy.
I did get a new job, but I think the biggest thing I did was just kind of change, like letting people bother me and get to me so much, and making those certain cuts. Like, yeah, I'm not mad at you. We're still friends, but I don't need you in my day-to-day life anymore.
So I gotta up my game, huh?
Yeah, no, you're doing pretty good.
Back under your skin already today?
Yeah. So that's mine. All right. So next on the list is how has COVID affected your sex life? Has it improved it? Has it made it worse?
Mine's been about the same.
No difference?
No, not really.
Good for you. Well, hopefully. Hopefully good for you. You didn't say if that was a positive or a
always-
negative.
No, there's always room for improvement, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty much stayed the same.
All right, all right.
Dave, you're like so quiet. We finally shut Dave the fuck up. How'd that
All
happen?
right. You know what? I'm changing my answer. The best thing I have achieved in 2020 is shut Dave the fuck up.
It hasn't been good for it. I'll put it that way. Yeah.
All right.
Shortest answer Dave has ever fucking given on this show.
No
I'm just
SpaghettiOs, no
so
cereal,
shocked.
no segues.
like-
Nope. Just move on.
All right, and thank you for joining us tonight. Jeremy?
I'd like to defer back to my wife.
Wow.
I'd like to phone a friend.
Yeah, because it's like a loaded question right now for me.
No, you gotta
And
answer it.
Smacked possibly if I
What's
have
the
the
matter?
wrong answer.
Come on. Fuck up and answer it.
I'm like in shoulder distance.
Oh, we took an elbow to the nose.
I think it's improved.
We've got a lot more time now that we're not going out on the weekends and shit. So
yeah, this is awkward. Can I
I
put
have
an Amy?
noticed there is a
You
growing
thought it was a fine
percentage.
question the other night.
There's a
What,
growing
Dave?
percentage of my Facebook feed that has been announcing pregnancies. It's so apparently it's been good for somebody.
Yeah.
well, I'm sure we're going to have a major boom in pregnancies and a major boom in divorce after this shit.
Not in us though.
A whole lot of people that got to actually live together now, and they've never done that. They've always had jobs.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why Tom and I are still doing well
Did I
because
men-
we both never stopped working. So we didn't.
I think there was it's done good.
That's good.
So
So we've got one improvement, one worse, and one stayed the same. That's good.
it's
Covered
a
the
draw.
gamut. I'm telling you. All right, next question. Let's keep them going, man.
How has COVID affected you financially? And you don't need to like give us detail about your financial situation. I'm just wondering, like, how did it affect you financially? Like, do you
Been about the
notice a
same.
difference or no?
Yeah, I mean, been about the same. I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm not going out anywhere nearly as much. I mean, that's a positive aspect.
Yeah, I've been saving money by not hitting the bar and going out so much after work, for sure. So it's helped.
Yeah, the same. I think that's the same for Jeremy and I. We've been able to save money. I was furloughed at the beginning of COVID, so I got those bonus checks from the government. So I was able to build up a nest egg, and
You were really pushing the
well, we
stay-at-home dog mom motif for a while there.
Oh,
You were-
I'm telling you, I really need to be the stay-at-home dog mom.
I can't
That's
afford it.
funny.
I don't like working either.
Well, we
Dude, it's-
discussed this. We discussed this. So the difference between me being a stay-at-home mom
Mhm.
with the dogs is that the dogs actually behave better. Now, if Jeremy's a stay-at-home dog dad, they get worse because he will ignore them and be out doing his own thing. But I play with them and I train them. We discussed this. There's no way you can be a stay-at-home dog dad.
Yeah, I've been working from home a lot with this new job, and I climb the freaking walls. There's no way I could be a stay-at-home anything. I mean, my house is pretty clean, but yeah, I'm climbing the freaking walls. So,
Dude, I loved the meme. I think I might have shared it with you guys. The one that was like, me in 2019, if I could just get like a week, I could,
Yeah.
where I could stay at home, I could totally get my house and life put back together. Me in 2020, nope, that wasn't the problem.
Not at all.
So we do have a listener that chimed in with the financial. It's helped her out. They're slammed at work. They're both essential workers, and they've been able to save money a lot better. So that's
Cool.
good to hear. I'm
That is
glad
good.
to hear that people out there, because all you hear is the negativity
The
of
doom
the
and gloom,
financial.
yeah.
Like obviously the small businesses, the bar owners, the
Bars
restaurant
and restaurants,
owners,
man. Yeah.
bartenders, everything. A lot of people are struggling. So it is really good to hear that a lot of people that I also know are doing well.
Speaking of, did you hear, I'm sure you saw the story, there was a group of bar and restaurant owners that tried to sue
Yes.
to get the pause overturned. They lost today in federal
Did
court.
they?
Yeah.
The last I heard of it was I think it was on my way to work. I heard that they were going to court today, but I never heard the outcome.
Yeah, the ruling came down this afternoon, and then the judge said no.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, and it's one of those things where, and that's the sad reality about trying to fight, even if, without getting into the merits of it or anything like that, by the time, it happens and then you file the suit, today's the 2nd and it expires in a week anyway. Or it's supposed to expire.
It's not going to.
It's
She's going to extend it, but I got to tell you, so working down in Ohio, I get a different perspective. So, because they don't have it yet, but they're saying that they wish that a lot of people down there are saying, we really wish they would shut this stuff down because it's getting worse down here.
Because they're on fire.
Entire branches absolutely close because they don't have people to work them.
Yep.
And even during the first bout, when, there was a branch that would shut down for a day or two to do the clean out if there was a case of it, but it never closed. This one closed down for almost 2 weeks because they couldn't find anyone to work it because there's so many people out sick right now.
Yep.
And they're like, we wish they would just shut this down because it's getting worse and it's getting more and more out of hand. So, you have two sides of every story. Yep. So, and I mean,
well, yeah, because I know a lot of people here in Michigan that were really happy that they started closing schools down, and
schools for sure. I don't think they ever should have opened schools, in my opinion. Just because I knew that was going to be my opinion. Because I just knew that kids are just dirty little germ spreaders.
I want to go back to you saying opinion.
I was like, yeah, she had a little she had a syllable emphasis issue there.
Yeah.
It was yeah.
She was really like, my opinion.
My opinion. Opinion.
Oh, hey. You can tell you've been in Ohio.
It's already wearing off. Damn it.
No, I just gonna watch it because next week, our next podcast, I might just be laying in bed doing it. I'm just gonna be laying there.
Oh my God.
Hey guys. It might happen. Just throwing that out there.
All right, next question. What was the earliest time you started drinking because of COVID?
Not as early as you guys.
Run that past me again.
What's the earliest time, of day, that you started drinking because we were housebound because of COVID?
Shot of history recording session via Zoom, 9 a.m. Bloody Marys.
Yeah, not me. I still had to work through it all, but I can remember a time after work where I came home and Amy called me totally drunk because you and Dave and Steph were all hanging out drinking all morning.
Yep. That's my answer. Is the earliest I think was like at 10 o'clock. And me, Dave, and Steph were like, day drinking, let's play. And then we didn't even, it's not even that we got on Zoom and just started drinking and talking. We got on Zoom and instantly at 10 a.m. started playing drinking games on Zoom.
I'm not saying it was the best decision we've ever made, but it was a
It
fun day.
probably wasn't, but it was fun and I
was a fun
remember it.
That's hilarious. Jeremy,
Jeremy,
were you working too?
Yeah, he worked through the whole thing.
Yeah, I came home to that shit.
I'm getting home from work, tired, day sucked. She's like, "Wee!"
And I remember, dude, and I remember that progression where, like, for the longest time, you were like, "I'm not having a beer until Jeremy gets home," and you were like that was that was your steadfast rule. And then it was like, well, maybe one. Maybe one would be okay. Then it was like, well, I've had one. I might as well have another. And then it's 10 a.m. playing drinking games.
Yep. It happens. It happens.
Wow.
Well, what can I say? You know what? I'm pleading the fifth and I'm blaming Dave and Stephanie.
Well, there you go.
I had $1 for every time I've heard that.
Well, you'd have a lot of dollars.
I would.
You'd have a lot of my dollars if it was every time
Making
I
it rain.
You better be up on that stripper pole.
Oh my God. Again, Dave dancing.
Nobody wants that. Nobody.
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, I wonder how drunk we'd have to get Dave to get him up on a stripper pole.
It would.
I don't know. I've seen Dave pretty drunk.
Enough that
I've
it would
never
probably kill me.
I was going to say, I've seen Dave pretty drunk. I've seen him fall. I've never seen Dave be like, okay, I'm out on the dance floor. Never in my life have I seen Dave get out on the dance floor.
It rarely happens. And usually
the only time I saw Dave fall is when I actually went into the bar to rescue him because he couldn't get home.
Yeah, that was oof. Oh yeah, whiskey in the jar. That was a rough night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, jump in the bar. Oh, let me guess. You couldn't get an Uber, could he? Because they shut down.
They were not running. They were no. That was a bad planning night on my part. That was
actually that's my best achievement for 2020. I was super Amy that night.
True, because I mean there aren't many people out there that can say they had to come rescue me. Like
I know, but
usually it's the other way around.
I can.
Usually it's the other way around.
Because Steph, honestly, if I was going to Hamtramck, I was like, hang on, I got to make sure Stephanie's down to do this drive with me.
Good times, man. I was asleep.
All right, so we're gonna get a little serious now.
Oh no.
I know.
Let me get a beer.
Okay, pull it out. There you go. So what has 2020 taught you?
Was it taught me?
Yeah.
That people don't wash their goddamn hands.
That I am perfectly justified in my general hatred of people. I mean, I've always said that I like persons, but I hate people. And this year has seriously brought out the whiny, bitchy, self-entitled bullshit side of so many people. That
You haven't been that bad, Dave.
I wasn't talking about me, Cass.
Oh, sorry.
She misunderstood your answer.
Oops.
No, I mean it's been crazy. Like, whether it's the Karens in the stores yelling at people about having to wear a mask, or just people in general refusing to wear them, and or people that are debating the whole counter protests about Black Lives Matter, and people not thinking that's a thing. I mean, this has been a year that has just, like I said, just fundamentally affirmed for me that people suck.
And they don't wash their hands.
And they don't wash their damn hands.
Jeremy, did you learn anything this year?
Nah, just I don't know, just everything I knew about politicians lying. Just it's been really proven hard this year. I don't care what side you're on. Motherfuckers are lying left or right.
Oh,
They get
yeah.
caught.
How do you know a politician's lying? His lips are moving. Amy?
I've seen a lot of true colors come out in people this year, like my friends, people that I
Isn't that
thought,
bad?
well, really, um, no, like people that like I thought I knew very well, and then because this happened and there's been so much chaos in the world, I never really understood their opinions and their views and their sides. So I got to see, it's taught me more about my friends. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I was able
It's
to,
enlightened.
yeah, I was enlightened. And because so many people talked about so many issues this year out loud, I got to finally like hear a lot of different views and a lot of different opinions. So it's taught me a lot, honestly. I mean, with all the negativity, that's the only positive thing I can really bring out from all that negativity, is to see everyone else's point of view instead of never talking about issues,
Right.
never knowing what your friends and your family think about certain things. Are you alone the way you think?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's probably the biggest. We have a listener who said they've learned that a lot of jobs can be done successfully at home and have no need for office space. We have a lot of poor people with or a lot of ton people with poor hygiene and no washing hands
Yeah.
skills.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's been one of the biggest things that's happened this year. And I know because I mean, for years, a bunch of people have been saying, dude, there's no reason why this job can't be done remotely. And oh no, we got to have people in the office. Well, guess what? As it turns out, the vast majority of those jobs can be absolutely be done from home with
They really
very little
can,
issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know for example, my sister's been doing her job from home all of a sudden for the last, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks now. Since the numbers started spiking again.
Did the neighbors have an opinion?
the neighbors had no opinion. So they found out she can do her job very successfully from home, even with 2 kids going to home doing homeschooling. However, she has found it made her learn she'd rather be in the office.
Oh, heck yeah.
So all that time she was like, I can do this from home. I just want to stay home and do this. Now she's like, oh my God, get me back to work. I want to go back to the office.
Oh my God. Oh, so there you go. One of the biggest things I've learned this year, like school, like holy shit, like all the crap they're teaching kids, don't get it. Do not understand it.
Yeah, right.
This new math can kiss my ass.
Oh, that's just idiot.
They even changed the alphabet song. Did you know they changed the alphabet song?
Yes.
What?
No.
They did. I swear they did. I heard it and it's so dumb because kids, I don't mean to take this over from you, Dave, but because kids can't say the LMNOP.
It's always been Elementa. It's always been.
So they changed the entire song.
Be okay. They just burned it.
Yeah, so they changed the entire song so that kids could learn the LMNOP part.
Yeah, so now it's LMN.
I didn't know that was a problem.
Like what? Like who decided? Like who voted on that? Like what?
Yep.
That was the best part of the song.
So do they still do it to Twinkle Twinkle?
It changes.
No.
It's not that song anymore.
It's a completely different beat. It's completely different.
I think they're doing it to WAP. If I recall
I could
correctly,
never be a teacher.
I think it's to WAP, if the tune of WAP.
Oh my gosh!
There's some
Oh
letters
my
in this
gosh!
house. There's some letters in this house.
Okay, stop it then. Jeremy even knows
There's some
that
vowels
song
in
is
this house.
scaring
There's
me.
some vowels in this house. There's some vowels in this house.
Wait, are the vowels still the females and the consonants are still the males?
Oh my god. Anyways, we're done. I can't believe you two know that so well. Like I wouldn't have been able to
Hey, there
pull
you go.
that out of my hat.
It's no longer a shit show. The title of this show show is
All right,
vowel
Amy,
movement.
don't you remember on Thanksgiving when Jeremy posted
my
a picture of a turkey dancing in gravy and then called it a WAT for a
That was
wet ass
me.
turkey?
That was with the wet ass turkey.
Yeah, the wet ass turkey, and them two are going back and forth about wet ass turkeys.
I don't understand after 17 years how this man still surprises me with the shit that he posts. Like, I'm like, who is this person I'm married to?
My IQ's in the triple digits.
It literally blows my mind sometimes. And I'm completely sidetracked because you guys started singing WAP.
No, we're singing the alphabet song. Let's explain this to you.
Anyways, back to the alphabet song. If anybody has not heard the new alphabet song, get on YouTube, listen to it, because we're not going to play it because I hate it.
I want to listen to it.
But get on it.
Wrong.
I'm gonna
No,
go on
totally.
YouTube and listen to wet ass turkey.
I would love to hear parents' opinions out there. Comment it on our Facebook. Like, let us know what you guys think of this. Did you like it as a parent? Do you hate it as a parent? Because I'm not a mom. And honestly, with all this homeschooling and hearing everyone's nightmares, I'm so glad we don't have kids. Oh my God.
Well, no, and luckily,
Oh my God.
I've got
Thinking,
friends who are teachers, and some of them are actually my kids' teachers. And so there have been drinks every now and then, and I just said, look, we need to have an understanding. Because I'm going to teach them the way that I learned how to do this shit, and they're going to get to the answer. And that's all you care about, right? Like, we don't care about how they got there, just as long as they get there. And they're like,
Not with new math.
oh no, they were no, and they're like this year we don't care. Like, it's this is not the year for us to be picky about stuff.
yeah, I watched one of those Facebook videos of a guy that was complaining about schools.
Can't hear you.
You're fading out.
Sorry. I was watching a Facebook video of an uncle complaining that he helped his nephew with school. And all the answers of the math test were right? Uncle just double checked it. Not a test, it was just homework.
Yeah.
Well, the kid still failed because he didn't show his work the way that the teacher wanted him to do it. So the uncle actually called up the teacher and was like, if he still got the right answer, what does it matter how he got to that answer? If he made $1 million this way, even though you don't agree with him made that $1 million, does that mean he doesn't have $1 million?
Right.
And I was just cracking up. I was like, see, that's why I can't be a parent.
See, and this is why, and it always used to drive HR departments crazy, because they couldn't, like, I would always ask people during interviews, hey, which did you like better in school, algebra or geometry? And the reason why I always asked that question was because algebra is very structured and rigid. Like, there is only one way to get to the answer. Whereas geometry doesn't matter. You can take 3 steps, you can take 30 steps. As long as you get to the answer, you're good. And so by and large, like, people that say algebra need a much more structured environment. People that say geometry, you can let them be more free flow and do their own thing, and they're going to get there. But yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah. Don't know what to tell you. All I know is
really
today
happy that she's a grandma.
I'm sitting there today and my coworkers talking about what colleges they went to, and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, I didn't go to college.
I went to cosmetology school and now I'm a banker.
I have licenses though. I have lots of licenses.
I have licenses. She has all the licenses.
I have all the licenses. That's my goal, is to get all the licenses.
All the licenses.
I think I'm up to 7. Maybe more. I don't know.
All right. So next question. Did you discover something new you enjoyed because of 2020?
Yeah, position.
I was like, yeah, I know, we all know the answer for you guys.
Right?
Oh,
You have that whole sex toy thingies. I know which one. Amy said she liked the spreader bar.
oh my God.
You said it on a podcast. You were drunk. I'm just
You need to
reiterating
stop.
it. I'm just repeating what you had said on a podcast. You said it on the podcast.
My doctor
Otherwise,
says
I
a
wouldn't have
ball
repeated
gag is
it.
not certified for COVID. But I'm not breathing out my mouth.
Okay, this was a horrible question to
That
ask,
was-
and I hate you all.
Was
Jeremy
Amy the
is
one with
50
the wait?
Shades of Red.
Were you the one with the ball gag, or was that Jeremy?
I don't know. We don't have it anymore. We got rid of it.
Yeah, remember we gave it to you.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we
We
did.
gave it, and you put it in a giveaway basket.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna be
What's
like,
in the
I
packaging?
didn't. I was gonna be like, I never had anything like that. I don't know what to talk about.
Okay. So now that
Plausible
we've made,
deniability.
Right?
now that we have
So, I'm
achieved
sorry,
the
what was the
50 Shades of
question again?
Red, I know, right?
What was the question again?
What did you discover, or did you discover something new you enjoyed because of 2020?
I
I
don't know that I really
love your daughter popping in behind you like
I don't know that I
Dave.
really discovered it, but it was more I had a lot of fun hooking up and building out all the retro gaming systems.
Ooh.
I mean, that was one of my quarantine projects. Was I think I have 16 old game systems hooked up into that TV now. It was kind of fun figuring out how to get like an Atari 2600 with the little hook connectors, if you remember those, hooked into upscaled to an HDMI output.
What did you have, like 4 or 5 adapters?
There's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Could you imagine that, like 6 adapters chained together?
Hey, if you're a geek, there's no such thing as uncompatible.
I discovered I like to Zoom and drink, which I've never done before COVID.
Well, I mean, I don't know that was really a thing before this year. Like I think that's something that everybody discovered this year. The whole virtual bar
Don't
night.
take this away from me, Dave. Damn.
See, it's a good thing we're not in the studio right now. She could have like leaned over the table.
He would have gotten a beer can up the head.
Dave's like, I'm just gonna take another sip and ignore your ass.
Oh shit, didn't even trouble on.
Okay, and Jeremy, what about you?
Don't embarrass me.
Spreader bar? Jeremy
Next
can't
question.
answer this.
On the
We're not
advice of
answering
counsel, I will refuse to answer that question on the
I would like to
Sorry.
defer back to my wife.
You oh my God.
I'd like to phone a friend.
You can go ahead and move on to the next question, Amy, since the
Thank
two of
you.
you,
Yeah, 'cause
you and
oh,
Steph
man.
came up with these.
Stephanie and I were drunk when we came up with these, and I'm
You
not
need
right
to get
now.
drunk then.
No, I'm good. Oh Lord,
Uh-oh.
I know.
What's the next one?
What is the worst thing that happened to you in 2020? You personally, not the world, but what is something that you were like, okay, this is really bad this year?
Dave,
Ooh,
you got
crickets.
one?
I need that cricket sound.
No, I mean, so for me, honestly, it's been the isolation away from people. I mean, like that's been. I mean, you guys know me. I mean, the random conversations with random strangers in bars, just the, I mean, yeah, all of that was a huge part of like just my core essence of being. And so not having that has been a huge struggle, which, hence these Zoom bar nights.
Right.
But I mean, there's been no Comic Cons this year. And like Comic Con weekends are basically my battery recharge. That keep me going through the rest of the year. I mean, that's like, there are a lot of people that I only see at cons, that I have a great time with them, that weekend, and we play catch up and all that shit. And there's been none of that this year. I mean, it's been the social loss more than anything else that's been the hardest hit.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Dave's, because one of the worst things I think that happened this year is we had so many plans for this podcast to be at so many different locations this year.
Right.
Our podcast, if you guys are first time listeners, it's really was Cass and I came up with this podcast to be out at bars in the atmosphere. When we did the podcast before COVID, the podcast studio that we, were with Dave is inside a bar. So you had that bar atmosphere, you had the people outside the studios and everything. And we had so many live events. We were going to go to a brewery. We were going to go to Penguin Con. We were going to do a beer tasting and all these things and all that stuff. It was just such a letdown. Because I really thought if you guys listen to January 1st week of our podcast, I was so excited about 2020. And everything we had in store for this podcast, and we just couldn't do anything, and we're just trying to keep it going via Zoom, and it's just not the same. This podcast is just not the same without being in the public.
And that's what I was going to say too. Our direction changed completely, and we weren't ready for it, which is why it became a bit of a shit show. Because it didn't go in the direction we were taking it. Now, it's not to say that it won't go in that direction. We can always recover and take it in that direction in the future once COVID stops, but or at least calms down. I would love to still do that, take that in that direction, because I think we can get it going again. But for right now, I am still happy the fact that we've still kept it going. But yeah, totally agree with you. The direction of this podcast just totally derailed.
Yeah. What about you, babe?
Mm. No, I don't know.
You're so helpful today.
He didn't want to say it because
he sounds like
watching
Frankenstein. Fire.
Oh my God, I was so gonna go there. Oh, fire bad.
No, because he wants to say I had to spend so much time with my wife.
I don't know. I guess one of the worst things I could probably had to do was when a certain person in the family was accusing my wife of being an alcoholic. I had to explain to her that that person was drunk while she was doing that, even though she claimed she hadn't touched anything at all. But I'd been watching her the whole freaking day, sneaking a pint of Jack behind everybody's back.
Oh yeah, the hidden bottle of Jack. Oh, I remember that story.
And then she starts going off on Amy about how drunk she is, and Amy only had like 2 beers at this point.
And she was so confused and crying. I'm home. I'm like, yeah, dude.
That person was already halfway through a fifth of Jack. She's like, what? She said she had nothing. I was like, oh, she was tanked.
Hot kettle. There's a Mr. Black
I
online
had
one
to
for you.
So
That was like a hard time to summer.
Right. All right, Amy, one more because we got to wrap it up.
Yep. So on the opposite end, what's the best thing about 2020?
Dave?
Even with the lack of social, like the in-person social stuff, I feel like I've gotten closer to several people because of this year. I think like this year has really shown me who I need to have in my close circle. And it's funny because it's a conversation that I've had with my daughter a number of times. Because she's always worried that she doesn't have enough friends and she doesn't have enough of this and she doesn't have enough of that. And I've always told her, I'm like, Sam, when you hear me like talk about when I'm out, like, who do you hear me talk about? And she's like, it's the same 2 or 3 people. And I'm like, exactly. You don't. And she's like, but you have all the these events with hundreds of people, and I'm like, okay, those aren't friends. Like those, it's okay to have hundreds and hundreds of acquaintances, but when it comes to like actual friends that you hold close, like you're lucky one. You need at least one really good friend. If you have more than that, you're bonus. Like you're killing it. But no, I mean this year and I think on both sides, both strengthening some of the relationships that I'm happy they've strengthened, as well as letting some relationships go that were dragging me down, that I didn't even realize how much the negativity was affecting me.
Well, they say that
was that deep for me? Like was that a little too deep for me?
That was really deep that I was really waiting to try to do a burn and I couldn't. So
I held my burn back because it was so deep.
Because it was so deep.
You should get a shot.
What they say,
that.
like for especially for the guys, once you get out of high school and in 10 years, if you have one friend that you had back in high school, you're lucky.
See, and
Yeah.
that's well, and that there's another conversation that I've had. I had like actually right before COVID hit. I was hanging with a friend, and she's 26, I think now. And she had just recently gotten married, and we were kind of commiserating over a friend who had recently died. And she was just like, Dave, like I'm really struggling. Like all of my old like bar friends and yada yada like don't want to hang out anymore, or I don't want to hang with them anymore. And because and I'm like, duh, like your life is in a different place now. Like, and so like the general rule of thumb is like every 10 years, kind of like every cell in your body recycles or like is fresh every 10 years. Almost your entire friend circle refreshes every 10 years. Like if you like to your point, if you are still hanging out with the same crew, like if you're our age and you're still hanging out with all your high school buds, you've done something wrong in life. You really, really have.
Really? You think you've
it's
done
rare.
something
It's
wrong in
very
life?
rare.
I think
if
I-
those are still your only close friends, if your friend, if you're out of high school 10, 15, 20 years, and your closest friends are still the people you hung out with in high school, something has gone wrong. Like you haven't expanded your horizons enough. Something's gone weird.
I feel opposite. I feel like if those are still at our age, if those still are close friends.
No, he said if they're
True.
the only friends.
Oh, the only friends.
Like would
That's your still main group.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
would you consider your high school friends on the same par as say Cass and Steph?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
absolutely
you can
not.
still be friends with
Dude,
them. That's fine.
I'm friends with a couple people from high school.
Yeah.
But laughably, I wasn't friends with them until the
Right.
reunion that happened a few years ago. Because we just, we fell out of but then we got together in person, and yeah, we've stayed in touch and we're friends. We're not best buds. We're not, whatever, but we're friends.
Yeah, so mine was going to be on the friend zone too. Like the best thing that's happened that I can pull out of 2020 is I seen who are my friends, who called me, who checked in on me, who wanted to get on stupid Zooms at any time hour of the day because they missed my face, and then who you didn't talk to because you couldn't.
Right now.
No, because what I was going to say, and then you have to ruin it, is I was going to get all cute and sentimental to you, is that Cass and I didn't know it was possible, but I think we got closer this year. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about a lot of things that we never talked about before. We got very personal with each other and on a verbal level.
Wow.
before you boys chime in on that. I don't know. I just think it's made my good friendship stronger. And it's taught me who I can not have to work so hard. The one-sided friendship type thing. What about you, Cass?
My appreciation for things. I can tell you right now, 2020 was not a bad year for me. I don't like the isolation by any stretch of the imagination. I am a person who goes out almost every single day after work. And you know that. Your house, out with friends all the time. I am never home. So this was an adjustment for me. But other than that, I've had a new grandson, a new house, new job. I've grown closer to my friends.
Yeah, you've made 2020 a really good year. You've had
been a good year.
You've been very fortunate this year.
I have been. And so I'm not taking that for granted.
Good for you.
So that is my achievement. Isn't so much that the best thing that happened to me isn't all the things that great that have happened. It's the fact that I'm not taking it for granted because I know I've been very lucky this year. And I'm counting my blessings, I guess you could say. I'm appreciating everything that good have been happening, and I'm keep striving. Me. I'm never one to just stop doing anything or settle.
Where's Eye of the Tiger when I need it?
Do what?
I said, where's Eye of the Tiger when I need it?
I know, right? I gotta get the next license. What's the next license?
Gonna need a montage.
Actually, talking today, this is so funny because I finally said, okay, my 7, that's the last license I need. And then I'm talking to the other financial advisor. He goes, I'm going for my CFP. I'm like, oh shit.
What is that?
But wait, there's more.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
right.
it's certified retirement financial planner.
And
was the
then
next
Jeremy, what's the best thing that happened for you, or the best thing about 2020 for you?
I bought a tractor to mow my 20-foot by 20-foot lawn.
All right, Amy,
fucking
before
awesome.
you roll your eyes, you married a boy from Hillsdale. Do not look surprised by this.
I'm not like you can take the brand of the country, but you can never take the country out of the boy. And it is such a damn true statement.
I'll tear this
Oh my
metropolis
God.
up.
Dude, I'm just going to tell you right now, if I don't see pictures of you out like snow plowing the street and your entire neighborhood, you will have failed.
Because you guys have like a normal city yard.
It's smaller than a normal city yard.
Yet he has a tractor. You gonna ride that bitch over to my house?
Oh my God.
I gotta get a triangle for it, but I could probably do that.
Hey, you
Oh
want to do
my
my backyard
gosh.
for me?
No, we're not. No.
Oh, do
Run
my
out of gas
backyard. Let's
before I get
burn
there.
everything. Burn it.
All right. So before we wrap it up, we did have a listener answer the question. She said slower pace in life, more time with my children and husband, more times to just play and have fun spending together.
Nice.
And I think that's a lot
Aw,
for a lot of people.
it
So
is.
I'm glad that there's a lot of people out there that are pulling positive. And that's why I asked that question. I wanted people to think of the positive and not just concentrate all on the negative.
Right. Which I have the perfect cheers.
Oh, I'm so glad, because I totally bombed on that.
Well, it just what you said just totally reminded me of the cheers. That is, here's to staying positive and testing negative.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo-woo! It's so fitting for 2020. All right. So
And here's
I
to
just want to.
Yingling, which they still haven't brought to Michigan yet. Damn you.
You can get it in Michigan, but you can't take the cans back, if you know what I mean.
So thanks for joining us. We're gonna wrap this up. We appreciate
Should always wrap
everybody.
it up. It's good advice.
It is. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and for the last episode of the year that we are looking forward, and I'm not going to get too excited this time
Good.
because I jinxed it for 2020.
You did.
Yeah.
COVID is your fault, Amy.
I'm pretty sure it is.
What? Yeah, if you think about it, how many people talked how bad 2019 was, and it was 2020. It was one like, hey, hold my beer.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to start another podcast after this. Not a podcast, another Zoom for anyone who wants to join us to message us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Because I gotta
it's
run the
completely
I
open.
gotta run the other
Run.
show, and then I'll loop back around with you guys.
All
Yep,
right.
so just private message us. It's completely open and off live. So, but we love you. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Hey, everybody. Thanks again for listening to our show tonight. If you want more information, you can find it at facebook.com/My Drunken Confessions.